The penultimate round of Highline Racing League is here. The playoff chase brings us to Atlanta Motor Speedway in Season 15's second to last race. The classic configuration is due to give us an all-time classic race as 8 drivers chase down the championship trophy. Great to have you here aboard in Hampton, Georgia. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, as qualifying gets on its way here in Atlanta. The ASC 180 will be the second to last event. 8 drivers with a shot. The final 4 move on. Right now on your frame, the number 13 machine of Corey Blevins. He won last week at Bristol, the shortest race all season long. The number 13 machine takes it up to 6th on the board, and as it stands, we've got a total of 6 timed laps. The top which is going to be due to Scott Zellner, and Zellner up now by 20 thousandths of a second over Scott Wheeler. Gets it right in front of his teammate. Scott Wheeler outside of your bubble. And right now, Alan Kuhlman is in it. Only 2 drivers are sitting pretty going into this one. The rest of them will have to battle to wit's end. Alan Kuhlman stands in 3rd. Robert Kenny, with his highest qualifying effort this season, goes up to 4th. We'll see whether or not he stays there. The number 10 machine up there in the top of the board. Chad Winstead currently occupies the 4th and final playoff spot. Will he be able to hold on, or will the likes of Roberto Ramirez, Dylan Petit, and Caleb Morrissey take him down? Morrissey enters tonight as the 5th man, the odd man out at the moment, and if he does end up in front of the man in that number 34 by at least 5 positions, it may be a possibility to see that number 6 in the final 4 in Fontana in 1 week's time. 2 minutes remain, and Caleb Morrissey goes for his first lap. Scott Zellner still occupies the top spot with Scott Wheeler in 2nd. Alan Kuhlman's going to be in 3rd at the moment with Robert Kenny in 4th, Terry Brooks in 5th, and Chad Winstead in 6th. Caleb Morrissey needs a rebound night. Bristol did not go well for him. If it even was a solid race, let alone when he would finish, he would be inside the final 4. But he had a very bad race, finds himself now the first man out. He was able to afford that event, but now he'll have to turn it up through the mile-and-a-half circuit. This is not the SuperSpeedway configuration, and I'm pretty sure right now Morrissey might wish it was. 31.651 puts him 16th and last on the board. He's got one more flyer to get it done this time, though. Let's see what he can do. Down the backstretch he goes on his lonesome 1 minute and 20 seconds remain as the number 6 machine works his way down and in once again, locking it down. The final chance at a corner number 4. What's Caleb Morrissey going to be able to do? He is up on his time by 3/10. Will it be 4? At the end of the time, it's going to be a settled score. Caleb Morrissey jumps up to 11th. It will be good enough to pass James McKee, but not much more of note. McKee, 12th right now. He's all but locked in. Jacob Hom, the only other driver, still going. That being said, qualifying all but over, so we'll advance this in a few seconds, 40 seconds as a matter of fact, and prepare to get your starting grid on your screen. The number 76 machine of Jacob Hom does look to have a bit more pace than usual, so keep an eye out for the day crew number 76 as he goes right up high once again. A big time change in pace for a lot of drivers when we head out to Auto Club. We might not see a lot of these guys. Only 4 will be eligible for the championship, but this is the one last stand for everyone still in that fight. We started this championship hunt with 13 drivers eligible. We knocked out 5 last time we had to do an elimination race. That was at Kansas, and now we do it again in Atlanta. Jacob Hom still making his way through, and as the number 76 does just that, qualifying is over. Let's get a jump on this one, and without further ado, this will be your starting grid for tonight's event, the ASC 180. The second to last race of the season brings the 2nd machine, number 2, to the top of the board. Scott Zellner finds himself up front with a 31.196, and right beside him going to be Scott Wheeler, 31.216. The teammates find themselves on the front row. Alan Kuhlman going to be there in position number 3, a 31.221. Robert Kenny going to be 8,000 to drift in the 4th spot. Best qualifying run for him all season. He's going to be there with a 31.229. Dead heat with Terry Brooks. However, Robert Kenny is calculated to be just a bit quicker. He'll get that 2nd row. Outside row number 3 going to be Chad Winstead, position number 4 in your playoff standings. Entering tonight, 6th overall in tonight's qualifying. Going to be at 31.258 for Chad, and for Roberto Ramirez, he'll be there in 7th to the number 42. 31.295 right next to Kendall Kerr in 8th with a 31.3. Adam Bozzi going to be in the 9th position, 31.376, with Dylan Petit in 10th with a 31.398 to round out that top 10. From there on out, going to be Caleb Morrissey, position number 11 with a 31.408 and 4/1000ths of a second off. Outside row number 6, James McKee, the most dominating driver this season, finds himself just inside of the dozen. Brad Kress going to be 13th at a 31.443. It's going to be Kenny Brooks with a 31.467, and Matthew Rodriguez rounds out your top 15. Your Daytona pole sitter, not been the best in qualifying since 51 machine. 15th, 31.545. Jacob Hom finds himself in the 16th position, 31.556 for him, and defending winner Corey Blevins finds himself the slowest on time tonight. His 17th position qualifying effort, 31.564. Next to Dylan Clark. Now Clark is third entering tonight in the playoff standings. We're hearing, thank you Strawberry Kid 59, that he is having a bit of a technical issue. We'll see whether or not he starts this race at all. Ryan Potter going to be 19th in the 99 machine, and Jason Harris will round out your top 20. The final drivers to run out the field going to be right after Jason Harris. Give us just a moment to get that on your screen as the ASC 180 gets on its way, and it looks like that will be indeed your starting grid for tonight's event. Jason Harris right there on the bottom. Now, with that being said, it's going to be a race to start and a race to finish. Already seeing playoff drivers find themselves in a bit of a problematic position. Dylan Clark, the road course ace all season long, now out of the starting lineup. At least for the moment, there's still the possibility he does race tonight. However, not with us in our parade lap. It's going to be Justin Gibbs, Andrew Baker, Ryan Potter behind Corey Blevins and Jason Harris on the qualifying list. Harris does not appear to be part of this playoff bubble, of course, and does not appear to be part of the parade lap as well. With that being said, it's now time to get to the racing. Scott Zellner going to be down low. His teammate of Scott Wheeler is up high. It's going to be the Flying Scotsman to get us started. Top 2, all Scots. Then you got to look back to Kuhlman and Kenny as we say green in Atlanta. The starting green flag will wave, and we will be good to go on the ASC 180. Let's go racing from Hampton. And as they come to the line for your first lap, that is how it goes. Scott Zellner up in front right now in front of Alan Kuhlman by 1 spot, and then Scott Wheeler 2 spots adrift there in third. And Robert Kennedy 4th and Terry Brooks in 5th. Top 5 remains mostly the same, just a bit of a shuffled up order. Scott Wheeler now finds himself behind the number 8 machine as Kuhlman jumps immediately up to the front. Alan Kuhlman enters tonight's event as the 2nd seed in the playoff picture. He has been Mr. Consistency. He's got himself 2 wins under his belt, a dominating performance at Darlington and a steal at Pocono, and those 2 wins nonetheless find him in the final 4 next week, bar a disaster. Very unlikely to see number 8 fade out of the frame. He got himself a very good playoff run going, and he should be good to go. You know who's not good to go, though? The 21st spot occupied by Dylan Clark on his lonesome on pit road, 2 laps down. He's going to need a saving grace here. We do have stages, but we don't have stage breaks. Lap 30 going to be your first stage. Lap 60 will be your second, but we go green unless there's a caution for cars. Down low, Alan Goodman has himself out in front, but Robert Tenney's going to be in second with Scott Zellner there in third. They're saying single file for the top 3 guys, but then you see Scott Wheeler and Terry Brooks begin the battle side by side. Terry Brooks, not the season that he's wanted. He rattled off a few great top 10, top 5 finishes to finish out season 14. The momentum has not been there in the ASC Premier Series, simply found elsewhere, and he's hoping to bring it back tonight. 4th spot at the moment, the number 23 machine, and ace at the SuperSpeedways. Last time we went to the new Atlanta, the old one, he found himself up in front frequently, lap after lap. He was not able to get that one done, but he did come close. With that being said, we're going to see Caleb Morrissey drift off. He's going to be able to save it. And you saw it on your screen. It went right down to the apron and kept it going. Great maneuver for Caleb Morrissey, but not good at all for his chances. No, he's got damage. Number 6 machine has himself an issue, and he's going to bring it down to pit road here. Let's find out just what happened to Caleb Morrissey. Instant replay damage report on the number 6 as he's coming down for the second abysmal race in a row. If this is fatal to that engine. You can see he had a bit of a front end bump in it, a dent for sure, and the 6 almost had it save and finds himself in the wall. That's a heartbreaker and a similar issue to what he had in Bristol. My oh my, for this number 6, it has been hell, and there has been no saving grace. When the round of 8 began, it simply seemed to be a different turn of pace, and he finds himself now back on the track. 14 seconds adrift. Robert Kenny on his way. Now is up in front, and a big shuffle for the lead as Alan Cummins goes right down low. Deep sea diving from the number 8 machine. Scott Zellner's going to be there in third. Terry Brooks position number 4. Rounding into top 5 going to be Kendall Kerr as 7 laps in. The number 10 machine finds himself out in front. Robert Kenny has been looking for a good race all season long. I'll tell you what, great to see. He's got a shot at one. The number 10 machine, very fast it looked like at Daytona, but looks can be deceiving at the very start of the season. And unfortunately, this number 10 machine, that has been the case. Fantastic though to see him up in front right now, running very well, ripping that high line right now in the high line racing lead. How fitting for the number 10 as he works his way down the backstretch all over again. Alan Cummins still there in second. Could be Scott Zellner right now in third. Top 3 guys have been shuffled once again. The number 10 now finds himself as the occupant of the top spot. 8 laps in though, we've still got a load of racing to go. Robert Kenny, of course, not in the playoff picture, so I'm not quite sure if he's going for the stage winner, if he's going all the way. 120 laps on the table, slated for tonight's race. But either way, he could be trying to max out the points and perhaps take some away from drivers outside the picture. For the rookie in the number 10 machine, he's looking good so far. A veteran's drive. We'll see whether or not he hangs onto the tire. Atlanta is quite the grader. Your resources and equipment will be taken away from you in a moment's notice if you don't pay attention. So Alan Cummins right now knows he's going to have to race it wisely. Do not want to rush your stuff, and if you do, you're going to break it. These things do wear away and fast. There's a reason there's only a 3-car breakaway. You gotta be very gentle with what you got under the hood. Right now for the 8 machine, it looks like he's being a bit more careful. Of course, Scott Zellner might be the best position of these 3, laying back in the draft of the number 8. With all this time, you just want to figure out the right line and get yourself in position for a good run at the end of the day. That number 2 for Scott Zellner looking good so far as Robert Kenny leads him through nonetheless. Alan Cummins going to be there in second. Scott Zellner is in third. Rounding out your top 5 going to be Scott Wheeler. Terry Brooks still in fourth. Let's take a look at the battle mode. Chad Winstead finds himself in the 8th position right now, and Winstead might be looking good to go all the way. Not only is in front of Caleb Morrissey, was his big rival in this bubble battle, but he's also in front of Dylan Clark, and by a large margin. Clark in 21st, Caleb Morrissey is in 20th. The 34 machine, if he stays the way he is and keeps the deficit, should be good to go no matter what. So a 34 looking good. Adam Bozzi goes right down low, and it's a shame that Adam Bozzi could not compete further in the playoff picture. Missed a few races, and whoa, big merge. That's going to be Robert Kenny, and he's in big trouble. Goes down low. Your leader comes back up on the track. Let's find out what happened. Instant replay on the matter. Let's see what's going on. And the Matt Murr Designs machine finds himself almost in the wall. Thankfully, able to keep that car intact, but he was slipping and sliding on his lonesome. Goes down into the grass from the lead, and that's Robert Kenny. He's been quick all night long, now in 19th, and he comes up the track. That could have been so much worse. And wheel work from Robert Kenny nonetheless. Phenomenal to keep him seeing it straight and keeping it on the road. 13 laps in, we just saw a big-time wreck avoided thanks to some heads-up driving. It's maybe some desperation, but it all works out. Great to see the 10 still going as Kenny Brooks now in trouble. This could be much worse. He's going to be going all the way down on speed, and he finds himself on the apron. Another driver is in trouble. 20-second replay on the matter for the Kenny Brooks machine. Brooks, same thing, slipping and sliding, and it looks a lot more like Caleb Morrissey. Thankfully, this time, he does not hit the wall. Now he'll be in 19th, letting Robert Kenny get one back. The Kenny-on-Kenny battle, both have an incident within the last minute and a half. Nonetheless, now Scott Zellner occupies that top spot. And just when we said Scott Zellner was in the best spot to take the lead, he's now made it his own. He's got himself up in front. Alan Cummins there in second, and it is Terry Brooks in third. Great to see the competition and the attrition. Look at this. At Atlanta, it's been different in the past few years. Of course, as you all know, as NASCAR fans, I think a good majority of you are, Atlanta repaid for the 2022 season, and it's a reconfiguring as well. What was the very well-known, very characteristic, shall we say, pavement surface of over 20 years' time, with all the bumps and the highs and lows of the elevation within it, its character stripped away. The 1.5 mile circuit is still the same distance, but it's a miniature super speedway, a much different track. Many drivers in the real world and virtual have their own opinions on it. It's very polarizing, but I think when they come down to old Atlanta, just like it the way it is. And right now, 16 laps in, I think Scott Zellner would tell you the damn same thing. He's got himself a damn good run up in front. Scott Zellner, first 0.3 of a second. Alan Cummins in second, and Terry Brooks in third. Fourth spot's going to be held by Scott Wheeler. Fifth and sixth, now becoming a battle once again. And it's Kendall Kerr with a brand new look in that number 21, holding himself up high. Kendall Kerr, fifth spot at the moment, not the playoffs he wanted, but he has been oh so consistent most of this season. The number 21 Ford Mustang finds itself inside the top 5, running very well for Blacktop Racing, and the caution flies for the first time, and it's going to be for Jacob Hamm. Jacob Hamm stranded on the backstretch. Let's find out what happened. And Hamm brings out yellow flag number 1, so we're going to take a quick look back and see what occurred. Looks like he went to the grass, same as Robert Kenny, but he came up the track, and that will bring out the yellow. 17 laps in, a big bash to the front of that 76, and the yellow flag will fly for the first time. And he's going to be able to get his way on once again, and Caleb Morrissey avoids him, in a bit of trouble trying to get it recuperated. Thankfully, though, all for naught, he will keep it going without much more. Nobody else involved. Safety yellow to bring out your first here in Atlanta. Scott Zellner finds himself up in front 18 laps in as Alan Cummins rejoins him. Terry Brooks is third. It's Scott Wheeler fourth. Kendall Kerr in fifth. Top 5 remains the same as the number 2 machine finds himself out in front. Oh, we will go once again to the races. The ASC 180 has just started, and we've already seen our fair share of action. Tonight, gonna get that much more intense. And now down to pit road, Scott Zellner taking him in. He's taking himself in. Does not appear to take everyone, but he will take a good majority. Down and in, we've got drivers coming through. Cummins, Brooks, and Kerr. They stay out the rest of the field. Looks to be coming their way in. Scott Zellner leads them through, and now we've got a race on pit road for the first time in Hampton. Down and in, Scott Zellner has made it through. I think the game plan going to be fuel for him, and that it is. Scott Zellner's out, so is Wheeler. Robert Kenny now in as well. It's going to be James McKee first to follow. Next up, going to be after him. You see guys like Adam Bozzi, Ryan Potter, they all make their way off. Potter is out. Bozzi's with Chad Winstead, and Roberto Ramirez leads a double file battle between Robert Kenny and the eventual winner of the battle in Matthew Rodriguez. Caleb Morrissey back on pit road to repair some damage as Alan Cummins leads them down the backstretch. 19 laps in, your first stage has seen its fair share of action, and we've still got more than 10 laps until it finishes. Of course, it will finish very, very soon. It will finish at lap 30. Then it's going to be the number 60 lap that brings us to your second stage. Just like that, Cummins stays down low. He will not come to pit road. He knows what he's doing. Andrew Baker looks to be in a bit of trouble regarding his internet, but he's still going. Seeing him fluctuate up and down the running order. Goes and comes and goes. He's going to be off for a little while there. Not good sight to see is Baker falling down the pylon on my end, and he's now fallen down for quite some time. Gets himself back up. Keep an eye on that as the night goes on. And speaking of storylines, the number 5 machine has not just faced digital trouble, but he has faced physical. The number 5 machine on your screen, Dylan Clark, he has faced a lot inside the real world of karting. We've mentioned his exploits in the real world. Karted at Le Mans very recently. Missed a race because of that. but he's racing tonight with a separated rib. Had an issue in qualifying for one of his real-life kart races, and he even told me he still finished 2nd and 5th in 2 of his races. Thereafter, racing with the pain, Dylan Clark, a true competitor. Tonight has not gone off to the best start, but I'm sure a competitor like him will make it happen. Racing through all the pain, there's got to be a reason. I tell you what, he knows what he is doing. Dylan Clark on the way, Alan Kuhlman up in front, and Alan Kuhlman has had the playoffs to remember. A playoff run of a lifetime for him. The 8 machine has not won any races just yet, but he has been oh so consistent, and he going. Just like that, we'll come down to the start finish line once again, make it 1 lap to green before we get it headed out in Hampton once more. Going to be Alan Kuhlman going right down low. The rest of the field is going to be due to follow. Terry Brooks going to be in position number 2, Kendall Kerr in 3rd, and Corey Blevins has made his way up into 4th. And tell you this, Corey Blevins in that number 13 machine has fought through thick and thin. He did not qualify well tonight. Qualified in the 17th position, but he's had a bit of a new spark as of recent. One at Bristol, qualified first in the heat race, qualified 2nd on time, and led the good majority of that lap. I'll tell you that, the laps he led at Bristol, it was a dominant performance. He had guys like the 97 of Scott Wheeler on him, yet he held them all off. A phenomenal competitor, as always, Corey Blevins now finds himself there, and it's a sea of competitors here in the Highline Racing League. Now, they're looking to go at it once again. The Flow Racing number 8 carrying the torch for one of the Flow Racing drivers. Of course, Casey Heschel not here with us, but the number 8 will keep on going. Looking to lead us down to your first restart of tonight's event. It's going to be Alan Kuhlman in the first spot with Terry Brooks right there adrift. The fans are packing the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we'll go green once again. The first restart of the night. The mad dash to the finish of stage number 1 will be here now. The green flag flies once again in Hampton. And there we have it on the way. It is that number 8 machine, Alan Kuhlman, up in front. Casey Heschel in the chat, nice to see you there. And it looks like the Flow Racing drivers, not teammates, but that sponsor has been doing real well in this league. It's Terry Brooks in the 2nd spot, and Ben Kendall Kerr in 3rd. Top 3 guys remain within about a half second of one another. Alan Kuhlman gets a good jump. He has been real good at these restarts as of recent. Of course, he won a race off a restart. That was Pocono, which was his 2nd win on the season. Mastering the restart has been critical to his success, and he is showing why it matters. He's got a good jump right now, and we have very few laps until lap 30 comes around, and the first stage will be given a winner. Terry Brooks, though, charging back. He wants his first win tonight. He's sponsored by ASC Services and Supply, the title sponsor, the race sponsor, and a sponsor of not 1, but 2 drivers in both of the Brooks brothers. The 54 machine right now looks to be way back, still in the lead lap, only 2 drivers, 1 lap down in Jacob Hamm and Dylan Clark. Terry Brooks at the moment chasing down big as they work their way off once again. The backstretch is filled with battles. Now Corey's going to be right down low, and it will be the 97 of Scott Wheeler up there as well. Position number 4 going to be held by Kendall Kerr, and you can see the 13 make his way in once again. Right down, it's going to be the 99 of Ryan Potter. Every driver still battling as they make it to the stripe once again. And we say battling, we see one man on the grass out to be Ryan Potter, and he's sliding down an apron, keeps it going, but that could have been oh so much worse. Ryan Potter, as soon as we mention him, finds himself in the grass. We've seen now 3 drivers go down there. Kenny Brooks, Jacob Hamm, and Ryan Potter. That exit off corner number 4, it is a loose one. And she'll take you for a ride, and that's what happened to the number 99. He keeps it going. Nice to see he's back in motion, but he's still losing an awful lot of time. Finds himself now in 19th, up in front, 26 laps in. It's Alan Kuhlman holding 4 in the first spot. Terry Brooks in 2nd, and there's a fierce battle now for 2nd. Scott Zelmer entering the fray, and he's right there with Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr right in the mix now. He'll be in 3rd, and while the number 21 is yet another of the playoff spoilers. 2nd and 3rd are both playoff spoilers. There's still many drivers in this mix in the top 10. these points. Take a look at Chad Winstead. Winstead now finds himself within the mix as well. And as they come through once again, it looks like he's right behind the 97 of Scott Wheeler. Wheeler and Winstead battling to get that final spot. Right now, Chad Winstead has it. And the way things are going, Dylan Clark and Kayla Morrissey not going to be in the fray to battle for the 97. Might just get his lucky chance to battle as well. We got Issa in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you aboard. 27 laps in. Stick around. We're just getting started here in Atlanta. Alan Kuhlman leads the way. Terry Brooks in second. It's Kendall Kerr right up high. It's going to be Scott Zellner in position number 4. Double file it is. Wheeler and Kenny. Chad Winstead going to be there with Corey Blevins. Double file 2, now 3 rows deep as the old rivals and James McKee and Adam Bozzi do battle. Once again, regular season favorites that were all season long and now battling here in the thick of the playoffs. Of course, James McKee, as we mentioned, one of your 2 drivers sitting pretty to make it into the final 4. However, Bozzi racing a chase, a checker. He's got nothing more in the mind but a victory in his own right. Nothing else to race for but that checkered flag. He'll lay back for now as the rest of the field contends for the stage win. It's Alan Kuhlman, though, who had them on lock. Look who's up in front, though. Robert Kenny, 15 laps ago, went down around, fell back to 18th place. And now, on his new set of Goodyear rubber, finds himself just behind the number 8. It's a 1/10 of a second separating the both of these drivers with 1 lap to go in stage number 1. Lap 30 going to come to a close this time around. It's going to be the 8 loose. That time Bayi saves it and keeps it down low. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. It's Robert Kenny who gets the lead. Takes it just from that number 8. Oh my. What could that have been? Much worse. And a crisis averted by Alan Kuhlman. Yet again, heads up driving up in front. Chad Winstead now going to split him 3. Terry Brooks takes him as well. They're slicing and dicing for a second. This is a battle for every playoff point they can get. However, off of corner number 4, Robert Kenny makes it known he will win stage number 1, and he's got the field way behind him. They fought way too hard for a second, and the number 10 has built a 1-second gap here in Atlanta. He wins stage number 1, and we're on our way to the 2nd. A quarter of the way through this race, Robert Kenny leads him. He sets the pace, and double file to go. The 23 machine and the 21 working their way off the backstretch. Once again, Terry Brooks finds himself running real well. Kendall goes right down low. It's going to be Scott Wheeler in 4th, and then in 5th, Adam Bozzi. 5th position held by the 27. It looks like he got by James McKee and then some. And now as they come to the stripe, look at that gap. The 27 in his own world with everyone else. But it looks like the number 10 in his own stratosphere right now. And we look a bit further back. Adam Bozzi in 5th. How about the driver he was just battling with down the backstretch about 10 laps ago? Take a look at James McKee, now in 14th spot. He's going to wait this one out. The number 9 machine does not want to risk it. He's had a great playoffs, as we mentioned. The SP Designs machine in its sunset livery, a beautiful one as the sun sets on this season. Knows tonight he's just got to bring the Chevy Camaro home in one piece. That's the end goal, isn't it? And for 13 laps on this stint, he's done a damn good job. And Ty Smith in the chat rooting for Dylan Petit, and Dylan Petit's got a fan, and so does Roberto Ramirez. Drivers supporting drivers, that's the way it goes here in the Highline Racing League, and it is evident. Now let's talk about that number 31 as Dylan Petit works his way down the back right in front of James McKee. Petit, one of the guys outside of your top 4 entering tonight's event, and looking for one last chance. He's got to work his way in front of now Alan Kuhlman. Alan's faded back to 12th, and with a tire deficit, that number 8 machine is due to fall down much further. So it looks like for Dylan Petit right now, these new tires might be coming into good use. Robert Kenny has a 3-second advantage over lead here. He has been doing a masterful job. He's gaining on guys with new tires, mind you. Simply has it locked in. But for the Menards machine, he's looking to save big money, not get in a wreck, and find himself up front at the end of the night. He is stuck right now in some traffic, and they're rushing down here. It's like a rush hour, and for the number 31, he'll need to be in a rush as he goes right up high on the number 8. He wants his pass, and he wants it fast. He'll go there and try to make it so. Look up in front, though. 3.3 seconds separate Robert Kenny for the next man now, and Adam Bozzi. Bozzi's made his way up to 2nd. Chad Winstead holds 4th and 3rd. But I tell you what, the number 10 machine, Robert Kenny, looking real good right now. Almost looking invincible. Of course, times will change. But that's just the way it goes. The number 27 now fades back into 3rd as Chad Winstead holds his head up high and heads to 2nd. Chad Winstead right now in second, occupying that runner-up spot. Now a big thing for him, and we've mentioned it, there's the winners of those in the playoffs. These are not official race wins. They're sort of unofficial things we keep a track of for the guys in the championship battle. If you do end up in front of everyone in the playoffs without winning the race, it's a big thing nonetheless. Now, that's how the Final Four works. The Final Four, none of them have to win the race. However, it would be the cherry on top if they did. We saw Matt Crafton in 2019 in the Craftsman Truck Series when it was Camping World way back when. That machine, the number 88, never won a race, didn't even win the Homestead event. He simply consistently made his way through to every round to add a third championship to his belt. And of course, Matt Crafton, a crafty driver, he's been in that series for over 20 years. Here in iRacing, it's a bit different. The next gens have only been around in this league for 2 seasons. And Chad Winstead, one of the best to adapt to it, he's simply knocking on the door of that first win. What a Cinderella story it would be if he made his way in and then got his first win in Fontana. What a story and what a night it would be, as the 34 right now finds himself 3 seconds away and now gaining just slightly on Robert Kenny. Last time by, the Kenny machine ran at 30.088. Double eights on the decimals there, as the Chad Winstead machine ran about half a tenth faster. It was a 32.03 for the number 38 machine, 38th lap. My apologies there. And Winstead now finds himself even gaining on Adam Bozzi. The field is spreading out, getting a bit thicker, and right now only Andrew Baker finds himself out of this event. The 43 retired 10 laps ago. One man going to be in a bit of trouble. That's Corey Blevins in the wall, big time, and it looks like he brought Brad Kress with him. No yellow flag, will stay green, but a big time hit for the number 13 and the number 29. Let's find out just what happened. Blevins was in the 5th spot at the moment, went into the grass and comes back up. Yellow flag will fly for this incident, albeit just a bit late. And just like that, Dylan Clark on his way, we're being asked to check on him. However, a 2-car incident, and it looks like this guy is able to make it through. Rest of the field works its way down the stretch as everyone gets suited up for another restart. 2 restarts we'll have by lap number 45. And just like that, Corey Blevins back on his way. He involved himself with Brad Kress there. They're still going, but some right side damage for the both of them. Not good start for either, as the number 10 of Robert Kenny finds himself out in front. Chad Winstead second, Adam Bozzi third, as we regroup and reorganize for the second restart attempt of the night. And I believe we're actually being asked to check on Dylan Clark for the reason that he's up there. If it was on pace and not by the laps, he'll be there inside the top 5. He seems to have a lot of speed right now. And of course, on the newer tire set, regardless, he's made his way up in front of many drivers on that same stint, as oh so many aim down pit road. Let's check on what's going on down on pit exit and see who wins the battle off, as it right now could become a change from all fuel to some Goodyear rubber and tires. Scott Zellner makes his way in, so does Scott Wheeler. Alan Drummond there as well, as we watch the race off of pit road. Right now, one man is going to be off of his stall. That's going to be Dylan Petit. Dylan Petit goes all the way, wins off pit road. The 31 makes it out in front of Chad Winstead, and he'll have Roberto Ramirez coming out in third. Then it's going to be a 3-wide battle. Terry Brooks over the man in, it looks to be the 97, as we're going to see our pit exit cam shoot away. Many drivers come out. Scott Wheeler, Dellner, James McKee, Alan Drummond, Caleb Morrissey, Brian Potter, and now Dylan Clark scored in 15th. Drivers 1 lap down, stayed out on the track. Now only one man is recorded as the lap down. That will be Jacob Halm, and Halm, I believe, will be due to go on the lead lap in at the very least 1 lap's time. That remains to be seen. Hopefully does not take him any longer. The 76 still looking to compete. 1 retiree. 20 drivers remain as we head down to lap number 42. The number 10 of Robert Kenny holds himself right up front and holds his head up high. Still a lot of time to go for the man in that number 10. Robert Kenny finds himself in the first spot. Adam Bozzi there in second, and your podium now routed out by Justin Gibbs there in third. Justin Gibbs, I tell you what, up and down night already. He's seen himself up in front of many races before, simply not able to capitalize on most night's conclusion. But this could be a change. Of course, a smaller field than what we were seeing earlier in the season. Some drivers waiting for the next one to prep themselves for a title run, but the 93 comes in thick and thin, looking for the victory. What a story it will be to see a new winner tonight. Yet another playoff spoiler. It is possible. Maybe not probable, but it will be an awesome story nonetheless. For the Cobalt number 93, Cobalt 2's ran paint scheme for the number 93, and he finds himself in the podium, using every tool. His success very well. He's got himself there right in front of Dylan Petit and Chad Winstead. As it stands, 3 playoff spoilers out in front. The drivers marked in orange on your screen are still in the round of 8. So Dylan Petit leads all those in the playoffs at the moment. Finds himself 4th, with Chad Winstead in 5th and Roberto Ramirez in 6th. That's 3 consecutive guys in the playoffs right next to one another. It's going to be Kendall Kerr in 8th, but it's Scott Wheeler in 9th. Down there in 10th. You got to go down as far as position number 18 for Dylan Clark. Clark on a new set right now as they go down low. Adam Bozzi low. Robert Kenny, who seems to love that high line, he'll take it there, and he'll lead us down to lap number 44 as we begin the second sprint for your second stage. Atlanta has gotten the better of some drivers. To put it simply, tonight has been all about your car control. Up in front, the drivers don't seem to be able to mind it. They can go double file, they can go triple file if they really wanted to. You can see further on back past that top 10, many drivers have found themselves in the wall, in the grass, and maybe even all of the above. Even Robert Kenny, your leader right now, found himself in the grass almost on a wrecker. He almost came up to Adam Bozzi when he wrecked about 30 laps ago. But that being said, in a very good spot to recover for the rest of the night. The number 10, he brushed it off, used it as a learning experience, and now he'll find himself to lead the field here and now. The number 10 leads Adam Bozzi in 2nd. It's going to be Justin Gibbs in 3rd and Dylan Petit in 4th. Chad Winstead finds himself 5th. It's going to be Roberto Ramirez in Super 6th position. And Terry Brooks in 7th. Lucky 7th position for him. Can it be a first win for the 23? We're a long ways away from there. Who's going to dash to the checkered flag for stage 2? And who's going to wait till the end? We'll find out. Restart number 2 is in session, led by Robert Kenny. Now Robert Kenny finds himself in some steep competition. It's going to be the number 27, Adam Bozzi, way down low, and Adam takes it, and he'll make it his own lead. It's going to be Kenny in the wall that time by, and it looks like he's going for a bit too much. Shoots way too far high. Chad Winstead going to try to split the middle. Robert Kenny, though, will block him, and the number 10 take what he can get. He's got Winstead right behind. Take a look at the onboard shot, courtesy of TrackCams22.com, 45 in. And now looks like Winstead will go for it regardless. This is off the back bumper. Roberto Ramirez, they're spinning and they're wrecking a big hit. It's going to be multiple drivers around. The yellow flag will fly as we see Kendall Kerr run around, and he is stuck with Justin Gibbs. Big time hit here. We'll take it back immediately and find out just what happened. Kendall Kerr going to be there in position number 5, and then he gets involved with so many drivers at once. Justin Gibbs going to be the primary culprit there. They tagged, and then they stayed. Nobody else caught up as bad as those two were, and they basically felt frozen. What felt like must have been an eternity. They get it going nonetheless, and the 21 there with the 93 on the move. Most of the field able to avoid it. Besides that, great avoidance by many. Scott Wheeler might have some damage on it. However, the rest of the field, good to go as we get them right back and stacked up with your field. Roberto Ramirez on the way. Kendall Kerr is too. It's going to be Justin Gibbs right behind him. And the green flag just saw it. And now we find ourselves under yellow. It's going to be Bozzi out bringing it down. A bit of a fake out. However, the rest of the field does not choose to go. Oh, Robert Kenny. Kenny looking for a bit of an alternative strategy here. And with not much to lose for him, why not take it? The 10 goes down and he'll go in. He's only going to lead a few of the drivers in the back of the field. Chad Winstead goes in the grass. That might be a penalty. He'll be the last of which. So that being said, drivers looking for one last chance to go in. It's going to be Robert Kenny, Brad Kress, Roberto Ramirez, and you can see Kendall Kerr right there with Chad Winstead. Potter already out. And not really a race off pit road, just fixing what you can. 47 laps in, it's Adam Bozzi leading, and so long until the checkered flag flies. This number 27 machine wants to see it for the first time by himself. Dylan Petit, he's looking for a first-time win as well. Roberto Ramirez, he would need this win practically in a must-win scenario for that number 42. It would be safest, of course, if you do win in this event and you're outside the top 4 coming in. Well, congratulations, you're in now. That seems to be the way it's going in the playoff system. Very similar to how NASCAR runs it. That being said, the checkered flag is the be-all, end-all, and the number 42 absolutely wants it. He finds himself right there in position number 3, podium placement, and he's only behind Dylan Petit right now for those outside of the top 4 and the playoffs overall. That's not good, though, for either one of which, so close to one another, means they won't gain all too much together, and it might just be all for naught. One driver here is going to try to pull away. Either the short run they concentrate on or the long run. 60th lap will be your second stage. We'll go from there without another stage on the mind. We could see a long run because these guys are racing a bit more hectic, trying to get to these bonus points. The checkered flag is the biggest point that matters. So all for naught at the end of the day. It was Robert Kenny who took home the first stage in a convincing fashion. Chad Winstead got home with the most points for any driver who was in the playoffs. Either way, we'll find out in a lap and a half's time. Adam Bozzi first, Dylan Petit second, and Roberto Ramirez in third. Terry Brooks going to find himself in fourth, and Scott Wheeler's there in fifth. Sixth is Alan Kuhlman. 48 laps in, looking real good. The field is going down to Andrew Baker. Baker's actually back on the track. That's 21 drivers still racing, and the 43 finds himself returning to the field. Looks like it might have been an issue out of his control to still be racing. He'll keep himself on the track looking for some more opportunity. A few cautions in succession, but he'd need upwards of 10 to get back on the lead lap. We'll see what he can get. Already seen 3 so far, and we are in our third. The ASC 180 has been quite the dramatic event so far. 120 laps, 180 miles in the original Atlanta Motor Speedway configuration on iRacing, and it has caught some of these drivers out pretty big. We went to Atlanta last season. However, it was not it wasn't this configuration. It was the SuperSpeedway, a much different track. Basically, the only thing they share is a name and a location. Everything else is very, very different. As the white flag is out on this caution, so to speak, the pace car lights are off. That means we'll go green this time by. Watch out for those pace car lights as the iRacing official pace car take it down a pit road and let Adam Bozzi do his magic. Looks like he's emulating the formula that Robert Kenny had. Kenny's in 14th right now, but when he was up in front, he took the high side to get a good jump on the restart. Now Adam Bozzi going to go for that style as well. We'll see whether or not it works. Bozzi high. It's going to be Dylan Petit down low, and green flag will fly. Lap number 50 for the third time tonight. Double file, all in procession. Every driver who started this event is still in the field. Only one driver is out of the lead lap. Many drivers have an opportunity to get back at it. Redemption could be seen before the second stage ends. The green flag will fly for restart number 3, led by Dylan Petit and Adam Bozzi right up top. Way up high, Adam Bozzi started it. He's going to go from sky high to right down low. Basement riding for a moment, then he goes up high once again. Up, down, and around as Bozzi leads him through. Dylan Petit's going to be there in second with Terry Brooks in third. Scott Zellner now going to find himself just outside of the top 5. Going to squeak his way in, though, and now battle side by side with Roberto Ramirez. Dylan Petit in the grass. Another driver, a victim of corner number 4, and it's going to be a big slide, a landslide, as Petit comes up the track, saves it. A phenomenal save there, and that could have been oh so much worse. Dylan Petit, man oh man, what a way to save it. And we'll look back, he was oh so squirrely off of the corner. Take a look off this drone shot, and he had that thing left, right, then got in the grass again, and it looked like he would be doomed to come up the track. Almost hit Robert Kenny. Nonetheless, keeps it going. Phenomenal driving there for the number 31 as he gets it back on the way, and we get the field back in your frame of view. It's going to be the 23 machine back in front once again, and now Scott Zellner there in second. The field is shifting up in front. The 23 machine and the number 2 are both your playoff spoilers to keep an eye on. They've been good all night long. 52 laps in, it could be yet another driver outside of the playoff picture taking a stage win. And with that in mind, I believe the last 3 stages in a row have been taken by drivers outside the playoffs. How about that? Of course, in the case that they get it done, the 23 machine could add himself and be that third. Scott Zellner, though, looks to be the man to make that history as well. 2 occupants of the top 2 fighting for the final spot in that leading battle. Stage 2 ends at lap 60. No caution. We've seen quite a few already. Hopefully, we don't see any from here on out. Time is already running out for these drivers as Terry Brooks finds himself in first. It's Scott Zellner in second, and then Scott Wheeler in third. James McKee is going to be fourth at the moment. Roberto Ramirez is in the top 5 as Caleb Morrissey has in fact made a rebound. Morrissey in the 6th machine finds himself in a 6th. It has been an up and down drive throughout the field. Expect the unexpected. The number 6 machine, the Jonestown Jet, now going to be there in just outside the top 5. It could be a race of redemption if he just keeps in going. According to the calculations made by the Highline Racing League admins, Caleb Morrissey would need to be safe to be just about 7-8 positions ahead of that number 34 in Chad Winstead. Right now, he is solidly ahead, and it's from 6th to 14th. That might be the gap that makes it in. Any more drivers, though, would be that much better. He's in closing distance on both McKee and Ramirez, notably Roberto Ramirez, and right now, if he gets by that number 42, he'll be in a much better position. The number 6 stays a bit high that time by, just about half lane higher. Roberto Ramirez keeps himself right down low, keeps him honest as James McKee finds himself even still in the 4th spot. Scott Wheeler going to be there now in 3rd as the top 2 battle rages on, and it looks like Zellner's getting real close to that back bumper again. Right on board with Terry Brooks, but from the rear view perspective, he's got a lot to keep an eye on here in that back frame. Scott Zellner, tell you what, looking real good right now. The Pampers Ford Mustang has been unstoppable since his return. Got it done in the Highline Racing League Coca-Cola 600, won the last elimination race at Kansas, and even since then, he has been very consistent. A shame, unfortunately, he was not able to run for a full-time season. However, number 2 machine, of course, much bigger things outside of the sim. Welcome to the birth of his first child, and with that being said, simply makes sense. That's how it is, though. It makes sense. He's up in front once again, the all-time winningest driver in the Highline Racing League's iRacing era. It's been a dozen for your Season 10 champion, and in Season 15, he's looking to add to a multiple race winning campaign, trying to put a crooked number in that win column for this season. He's got 2 more shots to do it, including tonight, and he's now very close to getting a stage win. Terry Brooks holds his head up high out in front. He's got himself 58 laps in. The rest of the field is battling, and right now Caleb Morrissey doing exactly what we suggested, making it by those playoff contenders. Very good for him. Chad Winstead looks to be fading further back. Winstead now finds himself in the 16th spot. Caleb Morrissey is there in 4th. This is exactly what Caleb needs. Down low, James McKee takes it once again, and he's got himself in a great spot to maybe get some extra bonus points in front of Chad Winstead and officially find himself in contention once more. Bristol was a disaster, and it almost looked like Atlanta would be the same way. It's been a rebound, though, as we have 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Terry Brooks finds himself out in front. It's Scott Zellner in 2nd, and then Scott Wheeler in 3rd. It's going to be the Scots up in front once again. The Scotsmen who found themselves on the front row, now 1 spot away from where they began. They just got to get by that 23 if they want any shot to make it through for 1 full lap. The white flag will wave on stage number 2, led by Terry Brooks. Bonus points are on the line. And Brooks finds himself up in front. 60 laps in, 60 to go at the time they make it back to the cross flags. It's going to be the number 23 out in front of this stage for now. It's going to be multiple drivers battling for spots. You can see McKee right there with Blevins. Brooks, Dylan Clark now in 10th. They're all working their way back up, and as they come off of corner number 4, another playoff spoiler gets another stage win. This time the 23 for ASC Services and Supply comes home with stage 2. It's going to be Terry Brooks leading them now with 60 laps to go. Your stage 2 winner. Back to business here on FTN. It is Brooks first, Downer second, and then Scott Wheeler in 3rd. Caleb Morrissey now going to be in 4th. He is putting up a great run right now. He knows exactly what he wants to do. As James McKee and Allen coming to work their way off the back. Goodman getting by Corey Blevins. Blevins looking a bit more solid than we expected. We thought, of course, he had a better shot to Bristol's victory. Then seemed to be down the bottom. Then got way up front. began to fade again. Now he finds himself solidly inside the top 10, and look who's right there with him. Dylan Clark, your Charlotte Roval winner, most recently a two-time winner this season. However, only after the road courses. A dominant victory in the Highline Racing League Centennial at Watkins Glen and the opener to your playoffs at Charlotte. Both of those victories by margins of over 15 seconds. Simply undefeatable this season in the road courses. The oval game, though, it's been a program in progress for the number 5, as it's going to be Kenny Brooks up top, who's in the wall, and he's eating a big time hit for your 54, and we're going to have to check on what just happened. Found himself in there, and he found himself in there deep. Rodriguez not there, but Kenny Brooks was. Let's take a look. And it looks like Brooks washed up high, almost got into Goodman, and thought better of it, so he tried to avoid a wreck and ended up in the wall himself. Unfortunate scenario for the number 54 of Kenny Brooks. And while it might have been better for the field, certainly worse for him. Running inside that top 10 and battling for position, absolutely where he wanted to be. And it looks like right now, he's far from it. Dylan Clark goes down low, and Alan Kuhlman, this would be for the 7th spot. As times are changing, many drivers heading up, many drivers heading down. Right now, that number 5 machine finds himself now behind Alan Kuhlman. A back-and-forth battle finds the 8 back again in 7th. Kendall Kirk is there in 6th. James McKee in 5th. Caleb Morrissey in 4th. And Scott Wheeler in 3rd. Right now, Terry Brooks going to be in the runner-up spot. Look who's there, though. Scott Zellner takes the lead with 56 remaining. Your top 2 guys are still spoilers, but the 97 looking to change that. We got 3 of the 4 horsemen out in front. Zellner first, Wheeler in 3rd, and Caleb Morrissey in 4th. On the tip of my tongue was the word 2nd, and right now, Scott Wheeler looking to make that the truth as they come off of corner number 4 into the front stretch one more time. Not getting there just yet, but he's certainly counting down the laps until he can make a move. As a driver in the playoff picture, he's going to have to drive as hard as he can, 110%. For Scott Wheeler, defending his Season 14 title has been a bit of a challenge. You can see he actually gets very loose that time by, loses some more momentum. But the 97 who led the 4 Horsemen's campaign last season, a dominant season, 14 championship victory with wins at tracks like Charlotte in the longest race of the season. That, of course, year in 22 just has not been the same. Ever since Daytona, he's been close, but no cigar. Simply has not been as clutch as he was last season. He's still very quick, and with very little time remaining, he'll have to turn on the jets to maybe get that inaugural win in the playoffs for him, and maybe make it to the Final 4 safely. Down low, though, trying to make a safe pass. Terry Brooks goes for lead once again. Zellner's up high, and Scotty Z's going to battle back on the high side. Scott's going to keep him up there once again. 54 to go. They're keeping it driving real hard. One man going to be in trouble, Justin Gibbs. He's slow on his own. We stay green. 68 laps in. It is Zellner now back in front. Terry Brooks made a shot at it. He got close. Did not take it. Did not make it. The 2nd spot occupied by the 23 even still, as the field does indeed find itself single file. James McKee got himself in front of Caleb Morrissey. That's good for the number 9. Building a playoff pillow, but it really is going to be leveled off as soon as we head into Auto Club. Just trying to put one more good race in. No reason not to. He's racing for the same championship as these drivers are as well. Just got to keep on pushing no matter your situation. 69 laps in. It's been a nice race so far for your number 2 as he leads the way over the remainder of the field that continues to chase him down. Time is ticking. Dylan Clark finds himself in 7th, and he has made a phenomenal rebound from what was a disastrous beginning. He'll be battling for 8th at the moment. However, for the driver who started 2 laps down in the 21st spot, it has been tough to stay up in front. Much better than it could have been if he just let the issue slide. And he's now right there for the taking. 51 laps remaining. The aviation machine taking flight and making more and more time up on his contemporaries. Corey Blevins back in 7th, and Kirk going to be in 6th as James McKee now begins to pull away from Caleb Morrissey. The closest battle on the racing circuit at the moment, as a matter of fact, seems to be there in the 3rd spot. Scott Wheeler goes down low, and with 51 to go, he'll try to make it happen on Terry Brooks, and it looks like he's got a shot. Gets a loose once again, and if you get loose there, you gotta back off at least a bit. We have seen far too many drivers go down to the grass and not make it back, and his patience will be worth it. 50 remaining right now, and Zellner's got himself a good run. Backstretch will carry Harry Brooks. Once in the backstretch, fighting once more off of the corner. We'll see who has it done. Scott Wheeler goes down low once again, uses that lunge ability. That will keep him in the fight no matter what. Brooks washes way up high. The highest he's gone. Zellner cuts the distance out of the line. He's not going to be scored second, but he's got another shot here in the turns 1 and 2. Zellner trying to make it a 1-2 and a front row coming to fruition for the Four Horsemen. Zellner was your pole sitter regardless of how you slice it. He's back there for a reason. And now Scott Wheeler looking to follow in the other Scott's footsteps. The teammates find themselves on first 2 spots, just barely. Terry Brooks continues to hang on up high. And he's been able to hang on real well as one man going to be in trouble. Kenny Brooks that time by on the apron, gets it going. Looks like he saved it and does not lose much more. Once again, driver getting loose. He will keep his green as the Zellner machine now is checked out by over a second. Down a pit road, it will be Kenny Brooks going as the rest of the field is showing they're still here for the fight. Dylan Clark lets Roberto Ramirez go by, and now it seems to be signs of trouble for the number 5. Fading a little further back, tire wear getting to him, and it could be a long run gone wrong. He seemed to be much better with the shorter runs that we had earlier in the going, and with 48 laps remaining, and it is still shrinking without any sign of a caution. The number 5 might be in trouble. Scott Zellner finds himself there in first by over a second as they're dead even once again with James McKee gaining in. And if James McKee throws his hat in the ring, you know it's going to be on. The number 9 wants this win. He wants every win, and he'll take him right down low. 3 wide for the second position. James McKee's got it down low. Split the middle of 97 does, and a 2-for-1 pass. He makes it look easy. James McKee goes from 4th to 2nd in 1 turn. 46 to go, and he's got himself there in the 2nd spot. Look at that. The number 9 machine now goes up there, and it might be a 4-horse battle for the 4 horsemen. It's now Caleb Morrissey entering the picture as SSB Nightwing comes to the chat, supporting the Jonestown Jet. He's found himself once again in the battle, and now closing in on the picture for position number 2. Looks like James McKee gets by without hesitation. A phenomenal pass for him there. They don't see it every day, but James McKee makes it an everyday moment. Picture of consistency in this league and performance. Number 9 has you covered as they go side by side again. Brooks and Wheeler have been at it for at least 10 laps at this point. They have been a step above the rest. Kenny Brooks right now down low. He'll stay there. Let the field go by as the 97 now has himself work cut out and done. 45 to go. He's now in front of that 23. Good to see for him. He just wants to get by now as Caleb Morrison now might have a shot for a free spot in map number 6. Kenny Brooks stays low, lets them all go by. It's now Corey Blevins with Roberto Ramirez. Dylan Clark is fading back further, and maybe he'll fall into the clutches of Alan Kuhlman. Alan Kuhlman in the number 8 machine. 9th spot at the moment. He is good to go for the playoffs regardless of what happens. Just keep on running. Keep the car with its motor intact, and he'll make it in no matter what. But Dylan Clark is in a bit of a riskier position. Of course, he came in the 3rd seed, won at Charlotte, has not done much of note since. Consistency is key. One man down a pit road. That's going to be Caleb Morrissey. We're seeing a green flag cycle, and he will bring it in first. One stop to get to the rest of this race and the finish. The number 6 is going to be the first man to bring him down. Now we see some guys making moves. Yellow flag's out, and as soon as it's going to be the number 6 in, the number 23 is out. Terry Brooks wrecks, and we have a yellow flag just when we anticipated a pit cycle. Brooks in the grass, looks like he lost control, and he came up and destroyed multiple drivers right there. I can't believe it. Kendall Kerr and Caleb Morrissey was able to get free of that one. Man, Kendall Kerr right there with Brad Kress, both destroyed. And something went wrong for that number 23. I'll tell you what, looks like he lost control with inputs or something. You don't see that often. That was simply no control there. Kenny Brooks gets involved too. And Kress skates up the track once more. Kendall Kerr loops it back around. And that is a heartbreaker. Many drivers taken out of contention. And I tell you what, the 23 looked good all night long. Now, in a very bad spot for what was a good run. Now a disaster to the 23 of Terry Brooks down low. Took Kenny Brooks with them alongside Brad Kress and Kendall Kerr. Speaking of, Brad Kress makes it down low as the field comes in. It's James McKee now leading them down. Yep, what could be the final stop done of the night. 79 laps in at the moment. They'll take them down. They'll take them in. Let's find out who wins off pit road as the pit road here in Atlanta is occupied once again. Scott Zellner finds himself in the pole position stall once more. Drivers are still going at the circuit. Ryan Potter is still driving it as we will take a look at your camera angle. It's going to be the number 97 with that top stall right with the number 2 as they make it out. One man already moving. That's Dylan Clark. It looks like the number 9 might have the edge. It's going to be Scott Wheeler though. Wheeler gets it over James McKee. Then it's going to be Scott Wheeler. It was Zellner first. Then Wheeler third. You can see after that, Chad Winstead getting in fourth, Roberto Ramirez fifth, Corey Blevins sixth, Dylan Clark seventh, Alan Kuhlman eighth, Dylan Bettine ninth, and Jacob Hom in 10th. That's going to be your top 10 off pit road as the number 2 machine comes out in front once again as your leader with 41 laps to go. Time's running out, and the numbers is showing no signs of stopping. Looking to get win number 2 on the season. And now getting caught up to your drivers outside of the lead lap. Caleb Morsey just came down to pit. He got caught out there, and these drivers practically get a free pit stop beside him at the expense of the number 6. The Pioneer making it down first is the one who suffers the most as the channel lock machine now locked out of the main strategy. Lane Coons coming in to, of course, support the number 2. One of the big favorites when he gets those victories. It is Scott Zellner, and now he might be the favorite to win. 40 laps remaining, and Zellner has been real quick. His mile-and-a-half program has picked up the pace, especially in the last few weeks. Might just be up there to take home the checkered flag. Of course, unforeseen. He came back mid-season, and he has been looking real good ever since. He won back-to-back races with the Kansas and Cokes 300 stretch that we had, but ever since, not much has happened. Of course, we've only had one race in between. He's already looking to get back in victory lane. 40 to remain, the ASC 180, and the number 2 of Scott Zellner finds himself in first. James McKee second, Scott Wheeler's in third, and Chad Winstead now in fourth. It's a lot of playoff guys now in the mix. Let's take a look at all of them. In second, leading the playoff men, it's going to be James McKee in second. Right behind him, it's Scott Wheeler in third. Chad Winstead's in fourth. Roberto Ramirez is in fifth. Corey Blevins is in sixth. And he's out of this one. But then you see Dylan Clark, Alan Kuhlman, and Dylan Petit. The only man outside this equation at the moment appears to be Caleb Morsey in the 14th spot. He got caught out on his strategy. A bit of trouble. There was an opportunity to make that time back. He'll be put back in the lead lap right now. 38 laps to go, and we head back green. And we'll say hello to the green flag racing right for the number 2. Once again, it's Zellner there in first. Then James McKee up high. Got Wheeler right down low. Winstead finds himself in fourth. And then finally, it's going to be in that 5th position, Roberto Ramirez. Your top 5 occupied now by 4 playoff machines, and now all but one of which find themselves inside the top 10. It has gotten contentious, and for the final transfer spot, every driver wants a piece of the pie. Will they get it though, or will they fall to the wayside? We'll find out in 39 laps time. The number 2 just wants to win. It's going to be Scott Zellner leading the way once again. James McKee right beside him. Zellner's teammate in that 97 right behind. Teamwork's looking to make the dream work once more. 39 laps to go this time. Fine, it's going to be all about how this number 2 gets the jump. This could be the money restart after the money stop. This is strategy coming to a head. It's going to be the iRacing official pace car down and in as the green flag waves. Once again, we're backing away for restart number 4. They're in for the long haul. They are already down, single file, down and in. They look to be, and it's going to be Dylan Petit already making some big moves. The playoff bubble, we'll keep an eye on it. It's Dylan Clark there with Dylan Petit. Two Dylans in one frame. Corey Blevins with Chad Winstead looking to claim some spots as well. And they are all coming through in the same picture. It is all about the framing here. The number 8 machine finds himself ahead of the frame. He does not have to worry. The number 13 doesn't as well. He won at Bristol, not in the playoffs, however. The first of the spoilers thus far in the round of 8. Could we get a second, and could it be a repeating spoiler as the number 2 won the last elimination race? He's looking to go back-to-back in these most high-stake races. It's going to be now James McKee cutting him down low. Scott Wheeler gets it for a moment, but it's the 9 machine who finds room, and he found a perfect car-size gap. The Camaro now battles the Mustang, but the 97 gets the better of him once again. And phenomenal driving up in front. Second place battle. It is all down to this. The top spot held by Scott Zellner. He's got himself a good run. About a quarter of a second in front of the remainder of the field right now, and it's Wheeler coming through in second. Backstretch, they're pulling. It's James McKee there in third. Roberto Ramirez in fourth, and Corey Blevins in fifth. Alan Cumming now going to be in sixth as they're double file way on back. Robert Kenny searching for his first top 10 this season, and he's got himself a good shot. I'd love to see it for the number 10 machine. He's been racing his heart out all season long, just not the results he's won in his part-time campaign. Now could be a change for the better. The number 10 machine finds himself now in 8th as Chad Winstead is now filed up high, and it'll be Dylan Clark going for the 8th spot in his own right. Look at that. Now Caleb Morrissey is in 13th. He has to turn back the clock, make spots up and fast. Now cut out in a big way. Zellner going to be there in first. It's Scott Wheeler in second as they come on the line once again. The teammates in first and second. James McKee third. And after all this, thus far, 87 laps in, Roberto Ramirez might be the big beneficiary at the end of the day. He finds himself in the 5th spot ahead of all but now 2 of your playoff drivers, both of which already are in. However, he'll still need a much better run than anyone else. The deficit is not major to guys like Dylan Petit and Dylan Clark. Clark just hang on to this top 10, and he should be good to go. Bar anything when it comes to the bonus points and whatnot, I do believe the number 5 still has an opportunity to make this happen. He might need to gain a few spots, but in a position to do just that. Caleb Morrissey now going to be 11th, chasing down Alan Bozzi. He's hounding him big time now. 33 laps to go. He'll try to take it down low. Every position matters for a driver who started 5th outside of the playoff bubble coming into tonight's event. Knows this is the last dance for the number 6 machine. He needs that spot. He does not get it that time by. Justin Gibbs now comes up the pressure. Just have to go back to the chopping block, go back to the drawing board, and go back at it once again. Right now, though, Chad Winstead can't afford anything more. He is your 4th seed. He's in 13th. Something is wrong with that 34 after what seemed to be a promising run all night long. It could have been enough for the 7-11 machine. Now fading and fading further as we speak. Not good at all for this man. Jacob Hom finds himself now in 14th as the 15th spot occupied by Ryan Potter in the 99. 90 laps in, it is Scott Zellner, leading man, as they will come around this time by with a 3-wide battle now for the 5th spot. Look at that, Alan Cumming, and now the Roberto Ramirez machine up in front of it. But Robert Kenny has gone from chasing a top 10 to a top 5. Look at him go. Now it's Kenny right down low, the rookie trying to make it happen, making the big money moves. This is a veteran's drive, that's for sure. He's faced the trials and tribulations, and he's here to reap the benefits right down low. He does not lose it, but he does lose a bit of momentum. So will be Dylan Petit still chasing him down. Kenny, however, is in 8 at the very lowest if he loses this spot. Looking good so far. Up in front, new faces, familiar places. Alan Cumming almost got himself on the wall there, battling Ramirez. Roberto now going to be in 5th. James McKee got by him, and if Alan Cumming wants to shut the door on a driver's chance, well, he'll have to shut the door in terms of position. Any more could be detrimental to the championship run for this number 42. He can't afford it. That's the way it goes. As the number 8 goes with the flow and now finds himself inches away from another pass. 29 laps remain, and right now only 2 retirees, the 29 and the 23. James McKee wiggles it once again. Corey Blevins is in second, only a quarter of a second away from your leader. Blevins looking to go back-to-back in his own right. Consecutive races won by the 13 as he comes alive in the round of 8. We did not expect this at all for one of the drivers who found himself outside of the top 10 in points all year. is now a rocket ship. Up high, the 13 goes once again. Look out for Blevins. He's looking for win number 2. 28 to go. 2 one-time winners up in front who are not in the playoffs find themselves contending for the win in the penultimate round. The stakes are as high as they can get, and it could be hotter than hell for these drivers. This is everything if they want to make it into that final run of the championship. Auto Club awaits for the final run, but there's still more than 25 laps to do it here in Atlanta. To make it down to Southern California, you've got to get through the Northeast or now the Southeast. We've gone up, down, and around all season long. Blevins is gaining and gaining fast, now making a tenth of a second as the 13 machine works its way right down low. Blevins now has a shot. Robert Kenny loses some pace, but he's still going and going good as the number 13 continues to get closer and closer. Zellner has to now occupy a defensive position. Look on board with that 13 once again. Blevins has a shot. You gotta believe that's the way he's running as the number 13 looks to make his shot a reality. Up high, the number 13 goes. Down low, Zellner tries to keep it, and they will lock bumpers. Now Blevins down low once again. And Scott Zellner has himself a multiple handful job. He's out himself a handful, that's for certain. It's Blevins down low, and it could be the shot of a lifetime as they come off corner. Once again, Corey looking for back-to-back wins. He got himself his first win last weekend. Now, with that pressure, the weight off his shoulders, it could be time for the 13 to shine. He's leading now with 25 laps to go. This could be a back-to-back win for the 13 machine. If he only came alive just a bit earlier in this playoff hunt, he could be in the Final Four. One of the most unpredictable runs of the season. This number 13 is a title contender in his form, but not in the points. He's looking to make a point, though. Next season could be his as 25, now 24 remaining nights. Corey Blevins leads by a quarter of a second. Scott Zellner is second, and it is Scott Wheeler in third. Looking way on back. The battle for the playoff position stays still rage on. Dylan Clark now in 10th. Caleb Morrissey is in 9th. Still hunting down Adam Bozzi as Dylan Petit goes down low on Allen Goodman. Goodman fades back further. James McKee does stay inside the top 5, but Allen has been hustled by these guys, just hoping to stay alive as they come through once again, make it 23 laps to go, 98 laps in. And with that being said, you know what that means on FTN. The championship pressure, it is mounting, and you're going to get some of the loudest driving you've ever seen here on iRacing. Let's crank it up. Next lap by 22 to go, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. Track Cams for Gormans, the best cameras on the iRacing platform year after year, and we hope you enjoy watching them as much as we enjoy using them. We'll be right back, courtesy of a great presentation, cranking it up, brought to you by TrackCams22.com. And now with a total of only 18 laps to go in the ASC 180, the number 13, and Corey Blevins has his work cut out for him. It's going to be Scott Zellner right down low once again. It's going to be side-by-side driving off the corner. It's going to be a Chevy and a Ford, and the battle rages on. Two playoff spoilers out in front. Zellner puts the quarter panel down and in, forces the 13 right up high. The battle for lead, acting like it's a championship race. These two want it, and they want it bad, looking for their second win apiece. Now, it will only be one that get it done. Old Atlanta bringing together some close racing. The pack, it might not be here, but the drafting, it is major. Zellner kept himself in line, kept himself in tow, and now finds himself having to go at the lead once again. And Blevins has the corner exit of a lifetime, gets that lead back. Look who's in frame once again. It is who else but James McKee, looking at him on a whip. Number 4 of the season, and the number 9 is there and closing in fast. It's going to be a big shuffle. It's a big hit. They save it. The leaders almost wreck, and they will save it big. Now James McKee has a big opportunity to make it happen. Going for lead. The battle isn't over, and Corey Blevins almost found himself on the wrong end of the big story. Robert Kenny around. No yellow flag for the matter as the 9 goes down low. Everyone finds themselves in a kerfuffle, and it looks like after oh so long, the underdogs will not have their day, not as long as James McKee can help it. Zellner's almost on the wall, and he now finds himself squirrely. He does hit the wall and hits a driver. The number 2, Scott Zellner, a safety yellow is called. That wreck was brewing for 2 laps strong. Take it back and watch this one. We took it back over a lap to see everything that happened in succession. Let's get our drone shot up, find out why. Now, first off, of course, you see Zellner gets into Blevins there. They hit, they touch, and that absolutely sends him right off balance. Now, Blevins loses all this time for now. It's not the end for either of them. Keep an eye on this number 2 of Scott Zellner. Look at this. He's got himself in a good spot, although he does get loose through there. You can see it in the very minute movements that he has. That gave James McKee the opportunity to run down low, have a chance at this lead. They go side by side. James McKee does keep the lead, by the way. As they do go side by side, you'll see off the rear view perspective, the number 2 gets loose. Up high, he finds himself in trouble on his own, comes down into the number 13, and that causes the wreck. Now, thankfully, as you saw live, nobody else hit him, but the yellow flag will fall regardless. Big shuffle as we look live. It's Scott Zellner right now who finds himself in 12th. Does not have much damage, some back-end tapping, that's for sure. But otherwise, he's good to keep on competing. Come down to the inside line for pit road. Ramirez stays out, but the rest of the field chooses to come in. Bar 5 or 6 drivers looking to go all the way. James McKee finds himself right down low. He'll lead him out on the pit road. Let's see. Gets it done. Kendall Kerr's been there for quite some time. So is Andrew Baker, Matthew Rodriguez, and Kenny Brooks. They make their way through, and the race will get back on its way. Wheeler's now in his stall. Let's see who makes it in first. Allen Kubman misses by just a bit. Not major. It won't impact him all too much in the playoff picture, but Scott Wheeler has some damage, and he has some big time to worry about on that right side. It's going to be right now Scott Wheeler getting himself right there with James McKee. With Zellner with damage, so Scott Wheeler, Corey Blevins, Adam Bozzi, Caleb Morsey, Alan Cummin, and Dylan Petit out from pit road. Dylan Petit, Caleb Morsey make a big time. That could be major for them, as what's major for the 42, having this lead. Choosing to occupy the track position rather than going down to pit road and risking it on a gamble on the row. It looks like the number 42 has himself up in front for good reason. And now he'll choose to run this strategy out as he's got guys like Dylan Clark, Justin Gibbs, Jacob Hom, Chad Winstead, all with them. All 5 of them have not come down to pit road. Does Ramirez opt to go in? He does not. Kenny Brooks does, and he will stay out on the circuit. Ramirez finds himself up in front. He will not go down. Dylan Clark stays in second, and we will be good to go by, I believe, the 10 lap to go mark at the very latest. 12 remain, and it does seem to be a 10-lap dash to finish this race off if we go all the way green. It is Roberto Ramirez out in front in Atlanta, leading the way, and right behind him it is Dylan Clark. The battle for this final transfer spot has been up in the air all night long, and we're going to try to get some tentative standings after tonight ends immediately after. You drivers and you viewers at home know what the situation is. I'm going to have to confirm it to you all right here. I'll be trying to do the math in my head, see what's going on. I believe go by position basis. It will be different as the bonus points will be tabulated. 2 stages, of course, both of which were won by drivers outside the playoffs, and both Robert Tenney and Harry Brooks respectively. There were many drivers inside the playoffs. We did not keep a specific eye on see where they were in terms of their position. So with that in mind, the playoff standings are still not yet complete. The data will be reviewed, footage will be looked back on, and we will see who came home at what position in what stage. With that being said, Ramirez knows one thing. Besides all the math, besides all the statistics, what would guarantee him in? A win. He's won, and he's won bad. The 42 finds himself down low as we get ready to go at it once again. It is Roberto Ramirez out. Sideline. Dylan Clark up high. It will be a double-digit dash to get it done. 10 more laps in Atlanta, and the number 42 finds himself up in front. Dylan Clark there in second. Jacob Hamm in third. Justin Gibbs in fourth. This is it. One last ride for every driver, if we can at least make it all the way. We have seen races as of recent go into overtime finishes or short runs. Bristol, a short run. It was Kansas that ended under yellow due to an overtime finish. Could tonight be yet another, or will we find ourselves going all the way under green? It's an unanswered question at the moment, and you can be the judge as a fan. Leave your support in the chat room below if you subscribe to FDN Unlimited Chat Room Access all throughout the year, and it is never taken back, free, and it's fun to have you here. We hope you're enjoying the show as we head down to the start-finish line with 10 laps to go. Roberto Ramirez is going to be there in first. Dylan Clark in second. It's going to be the underdogs looking to finish this one off up in front. Ramirez spin for the lead, and we will go under yellow. Oh my. That's going to be a restart for naught. Roberto Ramirez crashes from the lead, and that all but decimates his championship chances. And just like that, Roberto Ramirez is stuck. Has not moved. That is it. Roberto Ramirez from the front of the field. We take an immediate replay. Let's look at it again. And the number 42 simply spun his tire. Take a close-up shot from the rear. You'll see the outside and the cockpit. He did not know those tires were not good to go. He had the wheel straight. That's heartbreaking. The 42, so good in the playoffs, making it from so far back from the field in points, down and out. He is still stalled, but now as we look live, he's stalled on pit road. That is the night for the number 42. Big wreck, big hit, and we will reorganize with Jacob Hamm now being scored as your leader. My oh my, Jacob Hamm leading with single digits remaining. This race is just unbelievable. Roberto Ramirez crashes from the lead. That could have been a championship spot locked up. And now he'll go at it once again. 9 laps to go. And Jacob Hamm, I believe, is waiting for the pace car here. He's out in no man's land. Pace car is guys like, I will have to look way back here. It's with guys like Corey Blevins and Alan Kunman. They're way back in 7th, 8th, respectively. And the pace car is way far back. So the reason is, the iRacing official pace car had to do is to loop around, even though the wreck happened at the start-finish line. So these guys will have to wait just a bit to get it going once more. And that's why they're screeching to a halt. Matthew Rodriguez getting his laps back. And Ramirez has retired for the night. And it is the iRacing official pace car back on its way. The number 76 leads this one, coming down to the single digits. I can't believe it. There we have, it's unbelievable. The penultimate round has come down to such high-stake racing, and yet we've got Jacob Hamm and Justin Gibbs, your front row for what could be the final restart, a back-to-back restart we'll get this time by. And I believe it will be a 7 lap dash at the very most. What could have been double digits has now fallen to the singles, and we'll go back at it once again very soon. Very few drivers look to come down to pit road. Ramirez came in. That's his night. That's his race. And hopefully not his season. But it's got to be a soul crusher there for the number 42. Heartbreaking display. And a hard-fought race ran for that number 42 until that moment. A lot of credit to keep on driving. He was far outside the top 15 in points entering Michigan. Won that race. And he's gone on a tear ever since. He had a shot there. And it looks like now he'll only be remembered as a shot in the dark. Jacob Hamm leads, Justin Gibbs in second, and James McKee in third. It will be a 6-lap dash according to calculations done by iRacing. That being said, really, no time to waste. Jacob Hamm and Justin Gibbs are now in the positions to be for a maiden victory this season. And what a victory it would be if they got this one done. Man, oh man, can't believe the stakes on this night. Playoff spoilers have been up front all night long. Not your usual bunch though. I don't see Zellner, I don't see Brooks, I don't see guys like Robert Kenny anymore. It is the number 93 and the number 76. They have waited all race long, maybe all season long, for a shot this wide open. James McKee would like to have a word with them, though. He's already up into that third spot, and he might have a chance as we're still single file. 1 lap to green. This time by, it's going to be the 93 up high, Jacob Hamm down low, and we will head now. The 1 lap to go single. Looks like the 93 keeps himself there, so it looks like the signal has been called to have a single file restart to alleviate any further incidents. We have hit the incident limit to have those double file restarts. This will be restart number 7, and it would hopefully be the 6th successful restart. We saw the last one did not go to plan, and just like that, we're back under yellow. We've been there for about 10 laps, so it feels like comes down to the final 6. So much hangs in the balance of this mad dash. We're going to see the most aggressive racing we've seen all season long. Just a sample of what we'll see in Fontana. Up high, Justin Gibbs, first position, looking for his first win on the year. 15 seasons of racing, and this could be the one for the underdogs. The 76 in second, looking for another great run as well. It all comes down to how these final 6 laps go. 7th restart. Everyone's lined up high. Let's do it once again in Hampton, Georgia. The number 93 leads us through 6 laps remaining. The ASC 180, and we're back under green. Yellow flags out once again. And it looks like it's a big hit for Alan Kuhlman. Motors blown. And just like that, we're going to head to overtime, I believe. And back to back restarts. Alan Kuhlman goes around, and we have ourselves a yellow flag once more. At the very most, we'll have 2 more green flag laps. And Dylan Petit tagged Kuhlman there, trying to make a spot back up. Allen went flying, and he got into Matthew Rodriguez. It looks like Ryan Potter wrecked almost into Kenny Brooks. Kuhlman is still due to make it in. 2nd seed coming tonight. But that's his race winning chances out the window. How about that? Zellner kept it going. He's now way in front of Alan Kuhlman. As Alan got it going himself, he's now making his way to pit road. That's tonight for certain. Motors blowing. The hood is almost popped off. And Justin Gibbs is now leading again. 5 laps to go. He got a perfect restart. And it begs the question, is this going to be an overtime or a natural green-white checkered? It is going to be a close call. That I can tell you for certain. 5 laps to go. We're officially scored at lap 116. Lap 120 on the horizon. And it's damn close. That's for certain. As the fans are still packed in the stands. We hope you enjoyed this one so far. Been a lighter week on FTN, the second one we've had this week when it comes to broadcast in totality. Only have 2 more coming at you for the remainder of the week as we have a bit more time on your screen. Let's give you a quick look. This week so far, we've shown you Integrity Octane Series and their 300-mile finale for the season. That's a bit of an outdated one. That shows you our full lineup. Now, we did have the Texaco trucks until last week. Then we went on to, of course, the Premier Series tonight. The Octane Series wrapped up this week. The Texaco trucks and the Ignite Series finished last. Our next presentations will indeed be the Full Send Super Speedway Series and the Stock Car Racing League Fisher Studios Truck Series. So with that being in mind for all of these drivers, now they've got to put on a show. It will be a very short restart, not a green-white checker. They'll do anything to push it away from that. It will be a 3-lap shootout. So this will not count for an overtime attempt. We can still have one more caution and perhaps end under green. That's the way it's going to go here in Atlanta. Make it a restart number 8. Let's do it once again. Led by Justin Gibbs, the green flag will fall for the 93 as we go racing once more. Let's go one more time for Atlanta. And the restart of a lifetime for the number 93 of Justin Gibbs. Jacob Hom fades back 1 spot, 2 spots, and now 9's already on the tail. Leading battle once again in frame. It's going to be James McKee right down low. He's going to try to take it immediately, and that he will. James McKee, 2 laps to go to get this win. Scott Wheeler, he's going to need a good run from here on out to get to the checkered flag in one piece. Caleb Morrissey is in 8th right now. Dylan Clark is in 10th. Chad Winstead is in 7th. They're all over the place right now in terms of the standings. Now, the 9 machine getting run down by the 97. If the number 97 wins, which he could, as we see a yellow flag, it's going to be a yellow flag if they decide to call it for a multi-car spin. And it looks like they will not. A big-time hit. Scott Zellner's around. No yellow flag called. We will race to the end. The white flag follows. No yellow's going to be called. And we will go to the checkered flag. Lap 120. Last lap. It's the last big battle. Dylan Clark now in the single digits. He's in 9th. Big hit for Zellner. Big hit for Ryan Potter. And now it's going to come down to this. Scott Wheeler looking for the checkered flag. He has not gotten it from James McKee. And every time they battle, the number 9 has come out on top. And in the final lap of the ASC 180, it looks to be all true. Once again, off the final corner, a big wreck behind, but James McKee wins in a photo finish by 83 1,000ths of a second. McKee is back on top and heading to the final 4. He wins his 4th race. Big win for James McKee. Notable finishes: Dylan Petit 4th, Caleb Morrissey 5th, Dylan Clark 9th, Chad Winstead 10th. Final points are due to be calculated, but the number 9 knows one thing for sure. He has dominated this season. The number 9 comes home on top. Once again, James McKee gets it done over Scott Wheeler and Adam Bozzi, who returns to the podium once more. What a finish that was as the number 9 gets it going to the front stretch to burn down the house. It was the number 9 of James McKee who gets it done for win number 4 by 1/10 of a second on final calculations over Scott Wheeler in the 2nd spot. Adam Bozzi right there for the taking in 3rd, and Dylan Petit finds himself in 4th with Caleb Morrissey rounding out your top 5. Stick around for interviews. We'd love to have you there. Corey Blevins in 6th with Justin Gibbs 7th as Robert Kenny comes home in 8th. Dylan Clark is there in 9th, and Chad Winstead is in 10th. Position number 11 goes to Jacob Hom, the final man to lead lap, and your retirees go as follows. Scott Zellner, your pole sitter, comes home in 12th. Ryan Potter there in 13th with Alan Goodman 14th, and then Kenny Brooks in 15th. Position 16 heads to Roberto Ramirez with Matthew Rodriguez 17th, Brad Kress 18th, then Kendall Kerr 19th, and Terry Brooks in 20th. Position 21 comes to the Andrew Baker machine in the 43, and Jason Harris did not start. The 88 machine comes home 121 laps down in 22nd, and now the number 9 machine gets to burn down the house. And McKee looks to park it there on the front stretch, and that he does. The number 9 machine, he is done. He even leaves the session and lets us go with a blank screen. The number 9 of James McKee gets it done here in Atlanta. How about that? As we got interviews coming right your way. And look at that. The James McKee machine comes home in the first spot. It looks like our timing and scoring bug is a bit messed up. Looks like the standings are all out of sorts. Take a look at that, though. The number 9 comes home on top, and he'll find himself winning this one at the end of the day. Let's get your interview system up and running as the number 9 comes home there in first. What a way to do it. Nothing more that he could have done all night long. We'll get him into an interview right about now and see what's going on for your winner for the 4th time this season. It has been a great season all season long indeed for the number 9 machine, as we will get your interview system up and running. James McKee gets it done from Atlanta, and it's all about consistency for this man, as we will drag him right in. What a way to win it. Simply nobody on his level this season, and he comes home with 1 race to go until the big finale as a winner again. And let's get that number 9 machine in the voice chats here, winning for the 4th time this season, and a big one for him to officially lock himself in to the championship picture. The number 9 machine comes home for win number 4, and what a way to win it. James McKee, a finale for the playoffs before the last race, and you get it done for win number 4 in the season. How do you feel after this one?
I wish that was the last race of the season, but I feel pretty good. That was a crazy into the race, and I'm just happy we were able to hold off Scott. He was a lot quicker than me on the short runs throughout the whole race, and I was kind of happy to see him kind of struggle on that last restart just a bit, to where I can at least gap him just enough.
And able to make the moves at the last moment to eventually come out on top. Number 9 machine was up front all night long, but it seemed to be a revolving door for the leader. So what was the big thing to keep you up there through the short runs and the long?
For the long runs, just saving tires. I was going way too easy for the first 20 or so laps, and then the guys in front of me, whose tires would start falling off a little bit, and I would start catching them little by little. But that was basically it. And then I wasn't looking for a short run at the end. I needed that long run, but the caution that came out when the 2 and 13 got together and then just create a whole melee on the front stretch, I wish that didn't happen. It would have made it less stressful.
Regardless of that incident, the number 9 machine once again on top and able to make that run to the checker. Now, I believe regardless of how you finish tonight, you would be locked in to that Final 4, which will be next race at Auto Club, the last dance in season 15, and you'll have yourself up in front for it. So what's it going to take to come out on top in Fontana?
If we move the race to a different date, because I'm in the middle of moving to a different state. So if we're able to move the race to a different day, I'll be able to race. But right now, I don't know what's going to happen.
And a bit of up in the air uncertainty for the number 9 machine, who's had this championship in his fingertips, getting real close there all season long. 4th win nonetheless. And even if you can't make it there to the finale, it has been one incredible season. So with that being said, the 9 machine back on top in Atlanta. Hey, final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
That's just SP Designs, Dylan Body again for this paint scheme, Scott with his company. Really happy to have them on board and have a really good season with them. And like I said, hopefully we're able to move the race date to where we're able to battle for a championship. But other than that, like you said, really good season. Best one I've probably had in this league of all time. So that's really cool. And as always, thank you for your broadcast, man. They're really good.
And there we have it. James McKee comes home with win number 4 from start to finish this season. He's been dominant, looking to wrap this one off if he can in the Final 4. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
There we have it. McKee going to be on his way. The second man on the board tonight going to be the 97 of Scott Wheeler. Very little time until the playoff standings are officially released, but the 97 doing all he could. Runner-up finish to James McKee here in Atlanta. So after all this, the points are not out yet, but it was a struggle between every driver up in front. How do you feel after this one?
I have no idea. It was a crazy race. Tire strategies are all over the place. I think at the end I might have just barely got in. But yeah, I want to give Jimmy a run. But I want to play it safe too. Want to get a championship if I can, rather than wreck myself for a win. So.
Regardless of all the incidents we saw there, able to keep them 97 clean. That was a big thing, getting up in front. So with that being said, what was the big thing to keep you there in the runner-up position?
I just had to drive smart. The car was either really tight and then it would just snap loose. So save the tires, manage how you could, and just had to keep track of where Chad and Dylan were. So just a nice, clean, safe race. That's all it needed to be. And I think it should have worked out.
We will find out. The points are still coming our way very soon. Stage points being added up as we speak. And with that being said, in the case you make it in, what's it going to take to come home with the title for this 97 operation?
The best race of the season for me is what it's going to take. Last season when we went to Auto Club, I won. So, that gives me some confidence if I do make it. If I don't, then I'll do what I can to be the spoiler, I guess. But, if I make it, it's a matter of just being the best out of the four. So it's going to take the most. Jimmy's been really good this season, so it'll take a lot to get there.
And looking to defend that title run, the 97 machine puts up one last effort before we find out who makes it in your championship finale. Scott Wheeler looking to an Auto Club. It could be a shot for the title. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates, Scott and Caleb. We were really trying to get Caleb up in there too. Have two guys from Four Horsemen in the championship four. That would have been cool. But every week we come in and race really well together. It's a blast racing with them and bouncing ideas off each other. Kendall, Toby for putting on the league, you guys for broadcasting, and everybody that watches. So we'll go to Auto Club next week, and if we're in the championship four, we'll try to bring another one home. If not, then just try to do what we can.
And there we have it. Looking to do what he can. Scott Wheeler, your season 14 champion, puts up one last chance here in Atlanta to go for season 15. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we have it. Wheeler going to be on his way, and the final man inside your podium, Adam Bozzi, welcoming himself back to the front of the field of 27, back where he was before. Great to have you here once again. Looking to be the big playoff spoiler tonight at the end, coming home in third. How do you feel after this one?
This was a blast. I wish that real life old Atlanta never went away, and I wish we were still racing these things on the old mile and a half instead of the super speedway. But good night overall.
And a good night to come back to the podium. It was a dicey night for everyone. It seemed like car control was a big thing, and you were pretty close to some of the incidents here, but it looks like your Camry kept a clean nose. So what really had you up there? Was it the car control? Was it the tire strategy? Or was it a mix of everything out tonight?
I think it's a little bit of everything. The tires played such a huge difference here, and me staying out on 20 lap, 30 lap older tires was probably not the best call. Had some scary moments there, but getting back on cycle with everybody, and then just being smart and methodical about it. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. Make sure that you just take your time going through the exits of the corners. You don't stand on the throttle and lose the back end like a couple of guys I saw do tonight.
And keeping it on the track is the big thing here, as Adam Bozzi worked his way through methodically till the end. Now restarts became a big thing at the end. We saw that, consecutive ones coming down to that 3-lap finale. So with that in mind, it was your car a long run or short run machine, because you saw it all over the place tonight?
I would definitely say it's a short run machine. I mean, I'm a short run driver. If you give me 20 laps, I feel like I'm with the best of them, but trying to save it is where I struggle. But restarts are always going to be a thing. Cautions breed cautions, and I think we had a really good shot there. Just had a lot of a lot of silly stuff going on there at the end that probably took us out a little bit further than what I wanted to be.
All being said and done from Atlanta, there's still one final chance to win in season 15. Auto Club, the finale coming up very soon. What is the thought process to get that one done and perhaps come out on top in the finale of season 15?
You know, any race we go to, I'm always going to be trying to win it. It took me 3 seasons to win my first race this season. So, I mean, going to Auto Club, I love the track. I love the car there. It's just making sure, though, too, you don't get in the way of the playoff drivers. If those guys are battling out for a championship, I'm going to let them have it. I'm not going to get in the way and ruin somebody's night on that. So,
have it. It looks like either way, maybe not in the playoff battle this season, but still looking for that checkered flag. Adam Bozzi gets oh so close in a return to the podium tonight. Number 27 in third. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
yeah, just thank you to everybody in the league putting this on. Thank you to you guys for putting up the broadcast. And shout out to Bearcat Motorsports. We went out to Michigan International Speedway about 2 weeks ago now and brought that race car home 13th out of 120 schools. So big accomplishment on their part. Congrats to everybody on that team.
And a big win in the real world there for Bearcat Motorsports, and oh so close to one in the virtual realm. Adam Bozzi comes home third in the ASC 180 here in Atlanta. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Bozzi going to be on his way, and what a race that was. The Nine Machine comes back on top and looks to finish out this season strong. James McKee, your race winner of the ASC 180, and that will wrap up tonight's presentation. A fantastic show all around as the Nine Machine comes home a winner again, and we thank you all for your support all night long. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Croix. Great to have you aboard with me. Another fantastic race in the Highline Racing League. And we hope to see you once again for the season finale next week in Auto Club as we decide who's the best of the best out of the final 4 who go for the championship victory. There's still much to be decided, and we hope to see you whenever we're live on FTN. Once again, I'll be there again on FTN. Doubleheader, I believe, on Saturday. We'll work that one out as we have the full Send Super Speedway Series and the Stock Car Racing League Fisher Studios Truck Series all at once. When it all comes down to it, 2 great races coming your way on Saturday, but I'll be off until then. So I thank y'all for your time all night long. Great to have you aboard. From our studios here in FTN to your homes, we thank you for your support and hope to catch y'all whenever we're live again on FTN.